start? Can you just read? He's not missing nothing, not voting on anything. Here he comes. Here. And say the pledge, please. Okay, board president to advise members of the audience that they may address the board regarding agenda items after the superintendent's report. Agenda item discussions will be limited to 3 minutes. Only those members whose names and addresses are listed in the sign-in sheet available prior to the start of the meeting will be recognized during the business. The chairperson will limit discussions of any item by the public to 3 minutes in order for the board to expeditiously conduct business. Mr. Dolan? Well,
All right, thank you, Mr. Zachary. You know, in keeping with the newfound tradition, I will be owning up to a mistake in a little while, which is always a good thing. But before we go to the mistake, it's my pleasure, and it looks like Mr. Lackner and Mr. Argello are here today. I'm not sure what the order of march is, but these two gentlemen are here with their students to give you an example of where some of the programs at the high school are headed. We're extremely proud of how the curriculum is evolving. So I think we would like Mr. Lackner and Mr. Argello to come to the microphone, and the floor is yours.
All right, how's it going? I'm Mr. Lackner here. I teach video production, TV broadcast over at the high school. And as you can see, I got some fellow broadcast members up here with us. They're going to talk about some of the stuff they've done and we're going to do this year. So without further ado, the WFDK members.
I'm James Sturck. I've been in the class for 3 years now. I'm currently a student helper alongside with my partner.
I'm Jason Vetrano. I've also been in the program for 3 years now. Me and James are both a little bit nervous up here, so we're going to do stick what we do best, and we're just going to show you some of our work.
Classroom in our very own studio, so let the video do the talking.
And Room 248, Video Production and TV and Broadcasting, is a classroom for kids who can create videos and learn how to professionally be in front of the camera, edit videos, create graphics, and record and produce quality videos for entertainment for the school and educational purposes.
Our equipment is state-of-the-art, consisting of Blackmagic equipment, green screen, great editing software on our Windows computer with our Adobe Premiere software, and our newest addition, the drones with the high 4K cameras that allow our students to get high-quality shots and great camera angles.
This next video here is it's about the video production program where all of us here started. So we'll just go right to that.
The video production class is a constantly improving elective.
The television broadcasting class is an advanced media class where students have more creative freedom for their content and start to branch off into more individual projects. The TV broadcasting class is in charge of creating the student-ran weekly news and sports news.
Throughout the news, students develop scripts and film news. We talk about the school sports, weekend weather, and latest events and stories going on throughout the district. We also advertise school clubs, sports, and classes in commercial forums.
Mistake here and skip the slide. So that one was about television broadcast, but this is the video production one.
The video production class is a constantly improving elective for grades 10 through 12. This class, students develop the basic skills for making media content such as commercials, music videos, scenario videos, and even short films. In the video production class, I learned how to portray myself on the green screen and present myself in front of the camera in an entertaining manner.
In video production, I learned many things about the studio, such as using lighting, audio, and good camera angles. I also learned to use all the hardware in the studio control room, but my favorite thing I learned is how to use all the great Adobe editing software.
Our background story on taking the class. We started 3 years ago. Check it out, Glitter and Blue Productions.
I applied for video production in 10th grade so I could take TV and broadcasting in 11th. 3 weeks into my sophomore year, Jason asked me what elective I was taking because he wanted to drop concert choir. I told him about the fun I was having in video production class and he should really try it.
I joined the video production class late in the first quarter when James recommended it to me, and I instantly fell in love with it. James and I realized that we work really well together and decided to enter a contest for our sports video.
Mr. Dolan was in attendance at the competition where he noticed my earrings.
Not only did he recognize James's earrings, but he recognized the hard work that me and James put into everything that we do.
Mr. Dolan gave us the nicknames Glitter
And glue.
I'm the glitter and I'm the face of the productions.
And I'm the glue that holds everything together. James and I have made these nicknames into our brand and our dream to pursue this career in our adulthood. But none of this would be possible without Mr. Lackner, WFTK Studios, and the East Essex community.
Thank you guys. That's all, folks.
That's all we have for you, but if you want to keep following us, you can look on our YouTube at WFTK, EAHS News, and on Instagram, WFTK Studios.
Again, we were discussing this upstairs before. A lot of the things that parents sometimes want for their kids in school are what they had in school. And the world has changed tremendously. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to FTK and 40 Kids Foundation, who gave us a very generous donation to buy the state-of-the-art equipment. And the gentleman over here, you know, that came to represent the classes, you're right, James and Jason, you know, Glitter and Glue, you know, it was a natural nickname, but I will tell you, all those men and the men and women in the class over at the high school, what they have in common is a passion and a strong work ethic. And, you know, we've come a long way, and we have a ways to go, but, you know, the public is now able to get even more insights into what we do on a daily basis. And wouldn't it be nice when the morning announcements are all online so that parents don't have to ask their kids, when do you need your big money, when do you need to check for the yearbook, when do you need to cap and you know, those were some of the best fights we had at my dinner table when my kids would not tell my wife what was needed. And, but it is the way of the future, and this was a real community effort, the school, the teachers, the students, and then the very generous donation from FTK. So how about a nice round of applause again for them. I left out Mr. Stanton's in the back, who's kind of the shepherd, along with Mr. Z over there, and Tex at the helm. But now, Ms. Arguello is going to talk to us about how we're bringing our school newspaper into the 21st century.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Angelo. I'm an English teacher over at the high school. This is my second year in the district, and I'm happy to tell you a little bit about our school newspaper, The Broadcaster. So a couple years ago, then sophomore, Tristan Harth was around town knocking on doors, sending emails, making phone calls to try to get the school newspaper back. Unfortunately, he is, well, fortunately, I guess it's a nice thing, he is at his all-county vocal practice tonight, so he couldn't be here with me, but he left this little message. He said, the paper is always meant to be, it's a place of teamwork and passion. He truly couldn't ask for a better group or a more supportive platform. So when I was hired 2 years ago, I started on day one, and Tristan, I think, was in my room by second period. And we were trying to figure out what we can do to get this thing up and running again. And fortunately, there were a lot of good things that came from that. And the first question that we asked together and with the club that we started to build little brick by brick was, well, what does it look like? And the first thing that I thought of was, my freshman year, I was studying journalism at Syracuse University, and one of my professors came in, first class, and said, print journalism is dead. And I was very upset because I was there to study print journalism. And I remember being so upset, I called my mom, I was like, I don't know what to do. And I understand more now what he meant. It wasn't that print journalism is dead, it's that traditional print journalism is dead. And that's because there are so many different ways and new ways that people consume their media. So our idea was we need to go digital and we need to make a website because that's how people are consuming their news and their media. Another benefit to this is timely publishing. In the past, a paper was published maybe twice or 3 times a year. But now, if a student wants to write a story about the new homecoming dance that hasn't run since 2004, it can be published as early as that Monday rather than waiting until December and January to get things going. In addition, our articles can now showcase multiple forms of media. You've seen what the guys over here can do. We won't just have the written word or photos. We can have links to live websites, and we can embed video alongside what the students write. In addition to that, the site that we have kind of paired with, I can't thank Mr. Z enough for sitting with us and finding this platform, is a real, authentic website that gives kids this professional practice that they can use in the future. So that website is called Snow Sites. What they say is it's a platform that enables media advisors and student journalists to focus on journalism. This is designed for student journalists. So it's exactly what we're looking for. It's a daughter program of WordPress. So that is the most widely used program for journalists everywhere. So it has been awesome. And I kind of want to give you a little peek behind the curtain to show you what the kids see and what they can do. So every inch of our website is customizable. That is something that I was never super familiar with, and together we worked to kind of figure things out. You'll see, I'll show you in a moment, this is our homepage. It doesn't look like much right now, but it will when we pull up the website. On the left-hand side, we can customize everything from the type of red that we use to what the links look like when we hover over them. So it's pretty incredible. And when students do go to start writing and drafting and publishing their work, yes, they can write, yes, they can embed photos, but if you look over here, they can also determine, all right, what is the subheadline? When we share the link, what is the description that's provided? How is this going to look on the page? So there's really a lot that goes into publishing one article. Now, within this Snow Sites that the students use, there's a platform built into it called Snowflow. And what this allows us to do is kind of demonstrate a professional workflow and kind of work together in our planning. You'll see everything that we have here in yellow is a work in progress, and these are all the articles that we have coming up soon. Those that are in blue have been submitted for evaluation and for feedback, and the ones in red haven't been started yet. So, these are all articles you'll see hopefully in the coming weeks. And what I really love about this is when a student goes to take an assignment or start an assignment, they can kind of follow this path across. So in this window, they can see a to-do list of tasks that either I can make or they can make. and I can leave notes for them and say, hey, don't forget to do this, go talk to Mrs. Piccolo because she, knows everything, and, here are some questions you might want to consider. So I think this program has just been unbelievable for us, the kids, and what we can do. So our URL is eibroadcaster.com, and let's take a peek. So when you take a look, I couldn't believe how professional it looked. The banner up here was made by Kelly Waldron, one of our seniors, tremendously talented student and a tremendously talented artist. We collaborated with Mrs. Toomey in the art department to get this digitized and updated from some of the older newspapers that we had physical copies of. If we scroll around a little bit, you'll see we have our menu at the top. We have a carousel up here that features our newest articles. And then down here we have some more articles in kind of a different category. I'll click on one. This is one I liked a lot. It showcased an artist, Naomi Mackay, who's tremendously talented. And what I love most about this is, the writing's great, the photos are awesome, but we also included a video that Naomi made with the help of the guys from WFTK. So I really think going forward, what we have can be an awesome marriage in building not just a few different classes, but really a media program. If you look up here, you'll see our staff. And another thing I love about this is basically when the students submit their work, they basically kind of create a portfolio for themselves. So all of their work can be found in one spot. So if you want to read some Tristan Harth work, you'll look down, you'll learn a little bit about him, and here are the articles that he's written. So it's a really cool thing for the kids to have and share, and everything stays archived. I'm not sure for how long, but hopefully long enough. So from here, we have to consider what comes next. And there are a few things. First, social media, that is our next step. We've secured the EI Broadcaster handles for both Twitter and Instagram. We know that's the fastest, easiest way to extend our reach to our audience. I mentioned the cross-course collaboration. These guys are so talented and they do great things, and I think putting our heads together just can be awesome for our programs. Before I got here and when the newspaper was running years ago, I know they submitted work to local and national competitions. I think we can do that as well. And lastly, I would love to see the journalism elective run again. I think in order to make this platform everything we want it to be, having students dedicate their time every day in class, reading, learning, collaborating, brainstorming, that is the best way to kind of grow this and make it everything it can be. So I'm excited to see where it goes in the next few years. Thank you.
Hey Mike, that was a good kickoff to budget season. You lobbying for another class, thank you very much. But no, in all seriousness, I think Mr. Manzo and Dr. Bells deserve a lot of credit for leading the team of administrators. And like I said, we have Mr. Z, Mr. Bernard, Mr. Stanton back there to hire good teachers who have a passion. And I always say the difference, emotion is easy, it comes, it goes, it's up, it's down, but passion is a lifelong commitment. And you can see, the passion that gets translated to the next generation. And then, old guys like me have to get out of the way and just let it happen. And, we're going to hear over the next few meetings that we are looking to add classes that these students are going to need. Because I got news for you guys, you're going to be working in 2060, 2070. I might not be there, but I'm going to be loving you from wherever I am. But it is it's exciting to see the changes. And look what happened. Our print paper, we are a microcosm of society. We know, maybe East Islip knows something that the folks that are putting out Newsday and the New York Times and the New York Post haven't caught on to yet, that print journalism is going away to hula hoop. And we're prepared show our kids, so our young adults. So it's a very exciting time. And with that now, I'm going to ask the high school principal to come up because Mr. Bernard has some very nice awards to do, and we can let Mr. Zachary take some pictures, and then we'll be in some pictures. Greg will take the pictures.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Tonight I am here to recognize 8 of our high school students who have demonstrated great academic success, and I'll talk a little bit about how they got there and where they are and why we're recognizing them this evening. So throughout the U.S. we have about 1.5 million students have taken the PSAT or the National Merit Scholarship test, qualifying test, along with some other criteria. Those 1.5 million students sat and they were submitted to through the process. Of those 1.5 million, 50,000 of them were selected to be recognized. So we are very proud of those 3 1/3% of our students who are being recognized. So there are many different levels of the National Merit Scholarship program. So of those 50,000, the first cutoff is at 34,000. So 34,000 students are going to receive commendations. So I am very pleased this evening to recognize 6 of our high school seniors who are going to receive that commendation. So as I call your name, please come up. So these are students that were recognized of the 34,000 of the original 1.5 million that are being recognized for their academic achievement and their performance on the PSAT and the National Merit Scholarship test. So Stephen Coleman. Congratulations, Stephen. Antonio Catone. Ryan Devereaux. James Kelly. Rulinan Martinez. And Nina Walsh. We'll get a picture of her and have a Photoshop her into the photo.
Make me look younger.
We also have a very special junior with us this evening. Again, this is based on the performance of the PSAT. So students who take the PSAT and are African American, Hispanic American, or Indigenous, or attend schools in rural areas or from a small town, may be invited to apply for academic recognition as part of the College Board National Recognition Program. So in order to be eligible for this program, they must have taken the PSAT and scored in the top 10% of the test takers in their community, and
one is the National Indigenous Recognition Program of the 22-23 Scholar for Excellence in Academic Achievement. Congratulations. And the other, same recognition for the National Hispanic Recognition Program. So we are pleased to have a student with us this evening. We talked about the 1.5 million, paring that down to 50,000 getting recognized, and then splitting that 50,000 into 34,000 and 16,000. So of those 16,000 students, those students are being recognized as semifinalists for the National Merit Scholarship Program. So I'm pleased to announce Isabel Pantuzzi, who's one of our Bella will had to go through the whole process of filling out some additional paperwork, and now she's on her way to hopefully be a finalist in the National Merit Scholarship Program. Congratulations.
Yo, kids, wait guys. Before you leave, as you know, you are the future. And I truly, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But I want you to hear what I'm about to say, because I'll have to say it over and over again, because nobody's perfect. All right, but there's a lesson to be learned. Look, you make mistakes. Own up to them, do the best to fix them. We about 10 months ago, we convened the long-range planning committee. Now, I knew that my days were numbered. And I had all the best intentions in the world. That was, I came here, there have been 7 superintendents in 12 years. There was really no transition plan. I knew I was leaving, but I hadn't told anybody, except for my immediate team. But I've heard a lot of comments made, but the long-range planning committee was doomed because you can't have a school district where the superintendent is on the way out, by choice, mind you, okay, I'm getting old. Because your vision can't be long-term if you're not going to be here long-term. Now, first and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Bells for chairing the committee. I want to thank all the members of the committee. They worked hard. They had tough days. They did their best to put together a document. And there are a lot of theories, and there are an awful lot of conjecture, and I may have said things that were confusing at times, because you folks in this town have grown extremely patient with me, and I appreciate it. But the fact of the matter is, you know, this time next year, we are going to have a completely new leadership team in this district. History will decide whether this team is as good as I think it was. The folks especially sitting to my left, you know, 3 people to my left, and the school administrators. And then the teachers, community support. But it's not just the superintendent's job, but there are going to be several key roles, and I'm not going to mention them now because not everyone has announced. But the best thing that we can do right now is take the hard work of this committee, thank them publicly for all the time they put in, and simply take this plan and put it in a very safe place, lock it up, allow the district to go about the process of naming a new superintendent, doing a search and finding a new superintendent, allow some of the other positions to be filled. And again, I am not going to speak, you know, we have 2 board members up for re-election. We don't know if they're going to run. If they don't run, for the first time in a long time, we'll have a Board of Education that has all first-term members on it, with a new superintendent and with several key leadership positions throughout the district, you know, being filled. Those are the folks that will need to get to know each other, bond together, hopefully love each other the way I've loved this team and the boards that I've worked with, and then they will come up with a long-range plan for the district that will hopefully take us to the next bond. And so we'll have continuity. We have our labor contract settled. We have here in the long-range plan what I truly believe is the foundation for an excellent plan. You saw at the last meeting and tonight's meeting, and you'll see again at the next meeting, some of the new curriculum initiatives that are starting to take hold. Okay, and again, I cannot thank Mr. Harrison, Dr. Fells, and Mr. Manzo enough for working with the entire administrative team to lead the teachers to do things that the students want and the students need, quite frankly. Our students are going to be working in 2060 and 2070. We're developing new skill sets for them. But I apologize, you know, my intentions were good, but especially to the young folks out there, you can have the best intentions in the world, but you have to see past your own nose. In my, you know, misguided belief that we could put together a long-range plan with, you know, listen, the job of the superintendent is to be looking 3 to 5 years down the road and say, where should this district be? Like I said, history will decide whether the team that I was on here, they will give us a report card in 3 or 4 years. They will look back and say, well, you know, I think the 3 people to my left and the administrators in the audience and those watching at home and those not watching at home and the teachers, I think we've done some things to be very proud of. And just looking at moving into these new programs, taking a paper newspaper and becoming digital, upgrading, you know, WFTK to a media center, some of the physical construction, the new course offerings that we have, and Mike, you're right. We want journalism back, and we're going to create demand for it. And you know, I believe we will get it back. Might not be next year. You might have to wait a year or 2. But I believe it will be back because of what you're doing here. You know, I wish I could. You know, if I could stay here forever, I would. There are days I look at Tom Brady, as much as I hated that he always beat my Jets, but I understand why he doesn't want to walk away. Because he has the second best job in the world. I have the best job in the world. But I do owe everyone an apology and just a caution to you young folks. You can have the best intentions in the world, but when you let your heart cut off the blood flow to your brain, And I knew my time was coming to an end, and I'll be honest, I wanted a nice transition. You know, as a former and old social studies teacher, the handoff that we saw between the last two presidents was not what it should be. You know, Eisenhower and Kennedy didn't like each other, but they did it in an orderly fashion. And I believe that the next long-range planning committee can be convened, you know, maybe 9 months, a year from now. And the hope would be that all the constituent groups put a representative on that committee. And some of the tough conversations that are being had in this country, and some of the screaming and yelling that we're seeing, and some of the rabble-rousing that we're seeing, especially at board meetings, because this is the place you can go to, you know, make a name for yourself. Those discussions should be had in the long-range planning committee. And when I said to Mr. Zachary, I would volunteer to come back, since I messed up the last one, I would volunteer to chair it. Now, he said I don't live in town, but I'll ask the new board when Mr. Zachary is gone for permission to come back. Because I believe in this town, I believe in what you do, I believe in the work ethic, I believe in these kids wouldn't be what they are if it wasn't for the love and support of town. I would not have had such a great run here if it wasn't for all of you, the people sitting to my left, the people sitting to my right. So I apologize, especially to the folks who put in so much time. I apologize to Dr. Bells, who was the chair of this committee. And honestly, these three told me not to do it. And I said, no, we can do it. And guys, it's okay to say you were wrong, just don't make the same mistake twice. Thank you for staying and listening. Go home, get some sleep, and let's get to school tomorrow. All right, I love you guys. Have a nice night.
Just listening to your report takes a lot more time.
Still got a couple left.
Yeah. 2. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Okay, public comments on agenda items only. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the resignations, terminations, leave of absence, position abolitions, employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provisions of education law and civil service law as cited in the certified personnel attachments. May I get a motion?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the resignations, terminations, leave of absence, position abolitions, employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provisions of education law and civil service law as cited in the non-certified personnel attachments.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Education herewith appoints Paul E. Manzo as interim superintendent of schools effective February 1st, 2023, for a term ending on June 30th, 2023, unless terminated sooner by the Board of Education, and be it further resolved that the President of the Board of Education is herewith authorized to execute an employment agreement between Paul E. Manzo and the Board of Education respecting the terms and conditions of employment for his services as interim superintendent of schools. Take a motion.
Motion. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Paul, congratulations. It was difficult, and it was difficult only because we had several very qualified candidates who did an outstanding job. We have a great team here in East Islip. But Paul, congratulations on the interim position.
I would like to thank the Board of Education for affording me this opportunity. I am humbled and I certainly look forward to moving our district forward with the support of our team, administrative, teaching staff, all the support staff in our community. I know that Mr. Dolan is leaving some really big shoes to fill, but I am confident that with my team will continue with the district forward and provide our students with the best opportunities.
Paul, thank you. You've done an outstanding job since you've been here, and there's no reason to believe that won't continue. So thank you for all your work. We look forward to it, and unfortunately, the district might not be as clean as it is now, as Mr. Dolan spends a lot of time on that. But Paul, congratulations.
Consent agenda. Be resolved, the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, recommends the Board of Education approves the consent agenda 9.1 through 9.14 in accordance with the action presented for each item. Does anybody want anything pulled? No? Okay. Okay.
Cynthia? Cynthia? Yes. Can you stand up, please? I thought I saw you, but then you were hiding behind that gentleman there. Guys, how about, Cynthia's going to be doing a leave replacement as a guidance counselor at the high school, so, you went through an arduous process. The hardest part was probably yesterday when I bumped into you upstairs in the office. The secretaries couldn't believe you still signed the contract after talking to me, but we appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck and welcome to the family. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
If you get through that experience, you should be fine in the guy's office. That's like what we do to people before they get a job here.
Okay, consent agenda 9.1 through 9.14. Motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 9.15, be resolved upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the attached list of appropriation changes for the 22-23 school year.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Steve, can you just go through these, because there's a bunch of them.
Short time list is
Good job.
A number of the transfers here are related to printing that we do through Eastern Suffolk BOCES. It's an expense we budgeted, but we budgeted in different codes. The actual expenses happening through the BOCES codes, which allows us to get state aid on those expenses. So we're moving money from the areas where it was budgeted to where the expense is. There is a rather large appropriation change of $529,000. That's on the agenda as well. When results came in from our borrowing for our bond anticipation notes, interest was higher than what was anticipated, so we moved money from one code to another, all with the consent of our fiscal advisors to keep the tax rate level as we promised when we went into the bond project. So we moved money from one code to another. We reduced the amount of principal to be able to pay the amount of interest that was at the rate that was awarded at the time of sale. In addition, let's just see here. We moved some money into a repair code for our one-to-one devices. We contracted with a vendor to repair those devices, so we moved money from supplies to repair. And I think that captures the essence of the appropriation changes.
Can you just explain the athletics one? So the fourth one down?
Yes, through the athletic budget, in supplies, we're buying some tumbling mats for one of the schools, at one of the elementary schools. So that money was transferred from equipment to supplies as the expense is a supply expense, so we need money to cover those.
But it was inside the phys ed, you're saying? It was part of athletics already? It just moved from equipment to PE to supplies? Or is it other equipment?
From athletics to PE.
Gotcha. Okay.
Steve, has the increase in interest rates had a tremendous impact on the financials as far as like we had to move the TANs, you said, because the interest rates are higher? I'm sure we're getting more higher interest on the money we have saved. I mean, has it had an impact at all? That we expect?
Well, with the help of fiscal advisors, we put together a long-range plan that actually takes us through 2035. So we were able to make the adjustments by modifying the amount of principal paid lower to compensate for the higher interest expense. So so far we've been able to keep things going as indicated at the presentations made when we went out with the bond project.
Great, thank you.
The thing I will add is the TAN interest rate, which is the amount we borrow to keep us afloat until we receive our taxes in December. The rate was quite a bit higher there than has been in the past, but we budgeted conservatively. We're able to adjust for that, but it does prevent some flexibility that we've had in the past in that particular budget line.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Old business. Any old business? No old business. Any new business? Exciting new business.
I just want to mention the Veterans Day celebrations I went to, one at RCK and one at JFK, were unbelievable. I'd like to thank an RCK Janet Jones, the staff, as well as the PTA. And at JFK, Dr. Smith, the staff, and the PTA. They were well attended, and the kids put on a great presentation for the veterans.
Any other new business?
I have just two quick things real quick. I like this new thing we're doing at the board meetings. Last week we did, last month we did the robotics. Today we did the programs here. What do we have plans for the future? Like other groups coming in with kids and teachers, and I like when we do that. It's good stuff. I don't think people realize how many good things are going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd be remiss if
Like, what about cosmetology?
we have cosmetology.
We want to hear them?
Again, we don't want poor Mr. Stanton to be out every night with Mrs. Family. But no, we are moving back to what we were doing in the past and honoring students, pre-COVID. But also, we have been carefully revamping our curriculum. Some of our iconic programs needed to be tweaked and changed.
No, I think it's good. I think it lets people see what's going on in the school. I think we should.
Well, you heard what Mike Jello said. We used to have journalism as a course, but it fizzled out. We didn't have the interest. But now, through the efforts of the digital newspaper and that's a viable career path for kids. So it's coming back, and they'll stop short of making any promises because I'm not going to be sitting here. But I think within a year or two, if the interest continues to grow, you'll be adding some sort of journalism the way we're adding other courses. So absolutely, Mr. Clark, we'll keep bringing them back.
The other thing is, looking at the appropriation changes, and there was something in here about computer repairs. We put a huge investment in one-to-one devices. I would just like to know what we're spending with respect to repairs. Is it below what we projected, about what we projected? Not for this meeting, obviously, but for the future, how much is this costing us on a yearly basis to have these one-on-one devices? Is that right? Tell them no? All right, it's fine too.
That's something we'll put together for review of the.
Yeah, because I've been thinking, we got these one-on-one devices, we're repairing them, and down the road they're going to need to be replaced. And what is our long-term kind of cost with this stuff?
Richie, we spent a lot of money repairing these devices.
No, just the money transferred tonight.
Thank you.
But is it less than we had anticipated, or the same, or?
It's been less.
It's been less. All right, good. All right, you guys don't have to do anything. Thank you, Rich.
Might as well go right to the source.
I know Rich is not a big
fan. Also, again, alluding to the new courses, you're seeing, the WFTK and robotics adding another layer. So you're right, Bill, we need to bring in, and cosmetology, the enrollment's good, and we've got cosmetology 1, cosmetology 2. And so, yeah.
And even the presentations were fantastic the last 2 weeks. You see the rooms, you see what's going on. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. We just, I think people need to see it.
Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And Mr. Rulon alluded to the wonderful Veterans Day celebrations. That unfortunately I had conflicts, but I know, Steve and Paul and Lisa went, and Mr. Rulon went. We also, the bond is not finished. We have money left. We don't know exactly how much, but we're going to the money that's left, we're going to be doing security doors at, the new doors at the middle school. But we also have a wonderful memorial to folks that served in the armed forces that's going to be in the high school lobby. We're going to have, video monitors, and we're going to have, the things that the students create are going to be looping. And instead of having stagnant showcases, we're going to have showcases that can evolve and grow. And we will have, basics and the vision is to have some historical stuff, but also more importantly, student-made, up-to-date videos, whether it's promoting the play, artwork, concerts, our sport teams, so there's some really, really wonderful stuff that's going to be here in the next year or two as the bond, we came in, safe to say we came in on time and under budget, and we're going to get a few extras, so it's going to be nice. Can I say something? Folks, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, this morning we had this is out for the public. We had a situation not too far from here where there was a carjacking at Starbucks, and immediately, we became aware that our security was deployed. We didn't know exactly, what the complete nature of the situation was. But first of all, I want to thank Suffolk County PD because they were here fast, and they came with a very, very good, number of police officers for support. What happened was the car crashed over by the 7-Eleven near the corner of Roslyn and Carlton Avenue. We were aware. We had our security folks moving. I've said this before, we do have armed security here in East Islip, and we were in the parking lots. It got a little hectic, but as I said to Mr. Z, our new doors, we were able to lock down the building so quickly that our internal communication was a little slow between some folks because we now have the wherewithal to lock down buildings. We went into what we would call a lockout, not a lockdown, which means everybody has to enter through one door. There was a helicopter overhead. It's always telling in these situations, they bring in dogs to chase after the perpetrator. We became aware pretty quickly that they found a sweatshirt, because we had a description of someone, so we were looking for someone who we didn't know what they looked like because they had already gotten rid of their sweatshirt and they were heading southwest away from us. But we didn't let down our guard until the person was apprehended. And then once the person was apprehended, we had to wait a little bit longer to make sure we got the all clear from the officer in charge on the scene to make sure they had the right person. And I'm going to make a plea to the public. We need a certain amount of trust from the public. When your neighbor's house catches on fire, you don't call the fire department and ask them what's going on. We have safety plans that, honestly, we learned a couple things this morning. We actually treated it, we're going to go back and look at it as a drill and reflect. We know that our children are our most valuable resource. But God forbid, if there was a real emergency on this campus, within 10 or 15 minutes, you'd get a message saying, meet us here, pick up your child at Hatcher State Park, or, you do not, if there's an emergency and everybody rushes to the building, it impedes the emergency responders, and it puts more people at risk. We know you want information, and we know there's texting, and we know there's all kinds of stuff. But calling school during a time like that takes away from the people we need to be doing their jobs. Our support staff, our secretaries, it's very important that they are at the ready if we need to move, because we need to account for all our kids. Our custodial staff has things to do. Anthony's in back. If we have to set up some sort of command center or to support the police officers, or if we have to move our children somewhere, we have to make sure we have tables and chairs so we can account for our kids. Our administrators are busy checking the buildings. Look, we know, and I'm a parent, and I was at my child's school in the middle of a lockdown one time, And I said to the principal, how can I help? I was a principal at the time. And she said, Mr. Dolan, I know you're a principal, but right now I need you to be a father and sit down and just do what I tell you. And I said, okay. So, you know, the promise to you is we'll get the message to you as quickly as possible. If there is absolute imminent danger, we'll get the message out as fast as we can, and we'll do everything we can to get the kids out of the way. But if people come running towards the school when we're trying to move away from the school, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a very hard thing. You know, nobody's upset about it, but we're just asking. You know, we say this to our own staff. You know, the teachers need to make sure the kids are all right. The administrators need to make sure the buildings are all right. Everybody has a role to play. And, you know, I'm confident that, you know, we will sit down and look at our plans again. I was very pleased with what I saw today, because we had people in place in case someone who did something that, you know, did a bad thing, in case a bad person was going to come here, we were supporting the brave men and women who serve in the Suffolk County Police Department. So all I ask is please, please, if you see a helicopter, please be patient. If you think something's happening, give us a little bit of time. This whole thing unfolded in less than an hour. So all I ask is please, please, I know it's hard, I know it's hard, I know it's hard. But if you can be patient, it'll allow us to protect your children. So I thought that I should just mention that. Again, I want to thank the entire staff this morning for, you know, it was a difficult time. We've got 3 buildings, high school, middle school, and ECC, filling up with kids. And you have criminal activity less than a mile away. But at no time was, you know, were our buildings in imminent danger. And if someone had been coming here, they would have been met with a pretty impressive show of adults who wanted to protect our kids. So I want to thank all of the adults for protecting our kids, not just today, but every day. Thank you, sir. All right, one last thing, and this is a tough one. You know, our family, we suffered a loss. Debbie Smith has worked here for a long time, her husband now. Volunteered in the community, helped out. You know, Debbie's husband now passed away this week, so just please keep Debbie and her children in Al's memory in your thoughts and prayers. You know, and if you're so inclined, send a note down to JFK. Just wish Debbie and the family, you know, all the best. You know, I felt that, you know, we should at least acknowledge that here tonight. So Debbie, if you're out there, we love you. We're thinking about you and your family.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other new business?
I just wanted to mention that this Friday and Saturday, the high school is having a craft fair, so I just wanted to put that out for the community. And again, you know, last month we spoke about the EJ Autism, their hoodie event. It's coming up December 6th, so I just wanted to mention that as well.
That is a great event. I haven't been to it since COVID. I know they have last year I was away. But what a great event that EJ Autism did. Dee Peterson does a great job for our community. And it's a lot of fun. And I think one year I went to get tickets. It was sold out. Don't wait. If you want to go online and get the tickets, because it will be sold out, I promise you. I went on as soon as I saw that tickets were available. It is a fun time. They have a lot of great baskets, and they do such a great job just doing stuff for our kids and autistic kids. So thank you, B, for that, and everybody, I'm telling you, don't miss out. December 6th, Tuesday night, you're not doing anything else. Come on down, it's a great night. Any other new business? Stephanie?
Frank Tima.
Hello, I'm
didn't know you were leaving, John, for superintendent. I mean, but good luck in your future endeavors, and thanks for calling me a couple of times when we were discussing some other things. I didn't expect phone calls, but you know, thanks a lot. I didn't expect that.
Don't worry, Frank, and I kept your number because you're one of the few people that actually talk to me, so I appreciate it.
Now be worried.
I just have a couple of comments. I wanted to say I've been watching the meetings on the internet, you know, on YouTube, and I noticed that there are some ads that run before the meetings. Can you please just remove the ads because it's unnecessary and to me it just dumbs down the district in its online footprint. It's very simple to get rid. I have a YouTube account. The businesses that I run with, they audit, and it's very simple to get rid of the ads. It's just on the menu. So whoever's doing the YouTube uploads for the district, if you can just, because you're not making any money on the ads for the 700 or 800 people that are watching. You need millions of people. So that's my one thing.
You're giving us too much credit, Frank.
Exactly. So I mean, the ads I just think kind of dumb it down. The other thing is, you know, sometimes the signs outside the school buildings, they're old. They need to be updated more. Like I'll drive by a building and they'll have something talking about that happened a month ago. And it's not just this year, it's almost every year this has been going on. So I just think when students see that, we're trying to get them to get their own act together, for, you know, to use a better term. The school should really, on all the buildings, if the event happened, it shouldn't be up there for a month after it happened. It just, again, it just dumbs down the whole district. I mean, we have guys who are maintenance guys. You know, this is a no-cost way to just make it a nicer. I've been preparing words here, you know what I'm saying.
I think we found something for Mr. Dolan to do after February 1st.
And the other thing is, you have flags sometimes at half-mast. Sometimes I'll see the high school at half-mast, and the middle school is you know, a full staff. Can we make it even across the district? I don't even know why the high school has it at half-mast sometimes. They never say, or the junior high has it. We can just make it, you know, again, across the district, because flying a flag at half-mast, I think is an important thing. And it kind of, again, it just dumbs it down. You have one at full staff, and you have one in, half-mast. These are just very simple things, and the last thing I want to say, and I'm running out of time, is the website. We do something to make, you guys have these excellent students up here talking about all the great things that are going on. This should all be on the website. It should be easy to navigate. It should be visually stunning. It's very sterile and utilitarian, and to be honest, it's not even that utilitarian because I'm a pretty savvy guy, I think, online. I do video production and web stuff for a living. I have a hard time navigating the site. I know my wife has a hard time. We know where to go now because we clicked on it so often, but it should be simple, direct, and something that should be worked on, you know, for, that's all.
Good points, Frank. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tara Bartik.
Good evening. I just wanted to congratulate you, Mr. Dolan, on your upcoming retirement. We as a community appreciate all your dedication to the school district and the community for so many years. Not always an easy road, so I hope you really enjoy your retirement and can finally kick back and relax, so thank you for everything. Tonight, I just wanted to address the reality coming up with our governor and the COVID mandates. I know you guys don't really like addressing hypothetical questions, but now that Hochul is our governor, we all know that the our kids out of the schools. This is something every member of the district needs to fight together on because it will affect everyone in the community as well as the school district. And in reality, and this is a reality, and the community should know what's going on. So my question is, what can we do as a school district to work together and let our voices be heard? Because I know so many parents don't support the mandates for our children. So yeah, basically my question tonight is what is being done as board members to be proactive against these mandates that are coming up?
Now, Terry, you were talking specifically about vaccines?
Yes, the COVID vaccine.
Look, there's been been a number of meetings since this, last election and leading up to the election, and we are not hearing anything about this in terms, from our people, our lobbyists. And I saw something this morning, early on the news. This last election, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, I think it sent a message in a sense that the public wants our public officials to work together and listen to each other. Much like I said about the long-range planning committee. And there was actually one of the candidates in Nassau County who lost for a congressional seat was basically saying that her party needs to reassess how they're viewed, and this is not the vaccine issue, but the bail reform issue. And I think what's happening now, and I hope, and again, this is the old social studies teacher in me, we have a political system. Sometimes it gets a little heated. Sometimes the emotions and passions run high. But hopefully, after the way the state went and voted, and there was some mixed results. Both parties won something, both parties lost something. It'll force them to come to the table and listen to each other. But I think the best thing that we can do is to urge the public to continue to reach out to their elected officials and voice their opinion. As school officials, all of us sitting up here at the table take an oath to uphold the law. So if they make a law and we don't follow the law, there are some pretty severe consequences, especially, the folks sitting to my right are volunteers. But we urge the public to continue to simply, email, call, voice your opinion to your elected officials. And like I said, as far as internal stuff for the district, I think if we, in 6, 8, 10 months when we have a new leadership team in place, we'll have a place where all groups can be represented and have a conversation about where the district wants to go. But as far as laws and rules, those emanate from, the town of Islip or, the county seat up in Hop Hop or, up in Albany and continue, because those elected officials do listen. And I've had the privilege of sitting in meetings with them, speaking with them, and, the voters sent a message this time. And they really want our elected officials to work together in a spirit of compromise and progress and be respectful of one another. So I think that's a long answer to your question. The short answer is continue to voice your opinion to your elected officials.
Now, when you mention law, what do you mean as far as if the governor actually mandates it? Is that what you mean by?
Well, the governor doesn't have the power to mandate without.
Well, I know that, but we know that she already over.
In the state that
rides her authority, so that's my concern. I mean, I'm not
at
going to
the
get
way
into how it's unconstitutional with the vaccines, but I mean, she's went through the New York State Department of Health and done things that, were under the table. So my concern is that it's on her agenda, and I just hope that the school district isn't for that, because I know my kids will not be vaccinated or masked, and I'm kind of ashamed that I didn't have them in mask for so long. So I just hope that you guys are there to back up us parents that are against it.
No, I want to be careful. I don't want to, speak for the board but what, again, that can only happen if people don't voice their opinion. And I think that, we're in a much different place than we were a year or two ago. And I think the public at large has gotten a good understanding. And I think if we remain polite and respectful, but people have to continue to lobby their elected officials. And they do keep track. They keep track of who calls, who emails, what their opinion is, and their job is to represent the will of the people. And I think I will speak to the board on this one. We want all the kids in East Islip to go to school in East Islip.
Yeah, I know, so do I. I mean, I have one that's going to be a senior, and she definitely wants to finish in East Islip, so. And a 4th grader, and one that just graduated, so. They belong in school. They love school, so. All right, well, congratulations, Mr. Dolan. It's been a pleasure, not always easy, but I appreciate everything.
Thanks,
Thank
Harry.
you.
Thank you, it's been fun.
That's it.
That's all. Sure. Hey Frank, I love your list. It's short and it's easy, and to be honest, some of these things, these can be fixed very quickly. And I know I do a lot. I travel around the district a lot, and some of the most obvious things that were right under my nose I didn't see. So I'll apologize to you for that. But thank you for once again coming to the microphone, being polite, being respectful, being a gentleman, and pointing out areas that we can very easily get better at. And, I believe a new and improved website is on the way. Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
No one else. The next Board of Education regular business meeting will be held on, actually this is incorrect, it's going to be on Tuesday, December 13th. Please mark your calendars. Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. Motion to adjourn. Motion. All in favor? Aye. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. And we'll see you in December. Good night.